Alright, we are overdue for some nice juicy secrets, and with the hardcore servers coming out this week, I figured I'd share some of my vanilla leveling secrets for each class. These aren't hardcore specific, they're just for normal vanilla leveling, but they still work on hardcore. And there was actually a time where I leveled characters on private servers and sold them just to pay my rent, so I've done every class at least twice, and these are some fun, useful tricks to keep it interesting. Also, I never hear anybody talk about these for some reason, so they're pretty unique, I guess. Let's go ahead and get started with Rogue, since it's my favorite class and my main. Pretty much nobody knows this, and nobody ever talks about it, but you never actually need to move around while you're in stealth. Just run to the place that you want to be stealthed and then just jump in stealth right as you get there. And you can stealth up to mobs like this as long as you're behind them. That'll greatly decrease the aggro range. And you just want to do it around like 10-ish yards. If it's facing you, you want to use distract to flip it around, because it'll aggro from like 30 yards away or something, and then you just can't do it. Mob level matters a little bit too, and it takes some time to get used to, but after like 30 minutes, you should be pretty good at it. This allows you to super easily get stealth openers without wasting time. If you just learned a new rank of Garrote, it's almost always your best option, but it depends on the situation and your current weapons and stuff like that. All right, next up is Warrior. Warrior is a really hard class level, and you want to be really careful when you're pulling things, so you want to ranged pull stuff a lot, which means throwing weapons are really good. And people don't know this, but you can train throwing weapons at level 1. You just need 10 silver, and you can train them from the Gnome in Ironforge or the Troll in Ogremar. For some reason, people think throw weapons are bad, but they can actually be more damage than ranged weapons. It's just they don't have any stats on them. But at low levels, you're really only going to be missing out on like 1 stam or something like that. For Rogue and Warrior, I really like using them. I use them all the way to level 60 because, I mean, who cares if you miss out on like 5 stam or 5 agility or something. If you're not a hunter and don't have auto shot trained, you have this weird wind up of like 1.5 seconds just to use like a bow or a gun or something, and it just takes forever. It's really bad. But throw weapons don't have that. So you can super easy, quickly pull stuff, and usually people figure this out at like level 30 or something, but you can do this at like level 11. You can usually find throwing weapons on general goods vendors. The 10 silver to train them does suck, but it only really sucks if you're Alliance. Taurens start with 2-handed maces, Undead start with 2-handed swords trained but not equipped, Orcs start with 2-handed axes, and Trolls start with thrown weapons already learned. So on any Horde Warrior, you only have to learn 1 weapon skill. I mean, eventually you're going to learn all of them, but like as soon as possible, like level 8, you only need to learn like 1. If you're an Alliance Warrior, like you're human, you need to learn a 2-handed weapon, and you need to learn throw weapons. That's 20 silver, so it kind of sucks more. So it sucks for Night Elves because they have to go to Ironforge to do it. So yeah, I always buy lots of throwing weapons and lots of stacks of food, and it just makes the journey super easy. Okay, now for Mage. Okay, I've leveled like 15 mages, and I'm always like thinking like, do I want to go AoE spec or do I want to just spam frostbolts? And the best thing that I've come up with is to do neither and just get permafrost and then do cone of cold AoEing. So you never use blizzard, you never get improved blizzard, and you don't get frostbite either, because you don't want to randomly freeze stuff. You just put points in all the normal frostbolt stuff, you get improved frostbolts. Here, I'll show a spec real quick, and then you just get permafrost, and permafrost is going to make it so the slow from cone of cold lasts longer than the cooldown from cone of cold. So as long as you just spam cone of cold to slow stuff, you can just AoE any number of melee mobs down while spamming Arcane Explosion. So if I go to my AoE spot, a bunch of people there, it's not that bad. I can just go do something else. On my past, like, I don't know, 7 mages that I leveled, after I figured this out, I just do this every time because it's super fun and fast, and you can just level however you want. Okay, for Hunter, everybody makes this mistake where they think that they need to super min-max their pet abilities. The only 2 things that your pet needs to do is auto attack and growl. That's it. If it doesn't growl, it's useless. So people think wind serpents are good because they deal magic damage, they go through armor. No, they're not good because they'll do 2 lightning breaths and then they'll have 0 focus and then they can't growl and then you have to tank the mob. So whatever allows your pet to growl immediately is the best thing to do. So don't have rank 1 claw on autocast and have your pet dump all of its focus doing like 6 damage claws at like level 40. It's just make it auto attack and growl. That's all you need it to do. Your pet having a little bit more damage with its abilities is nothing compared to missing an auto shot from your pet accidentally min-ranging you because he didn't growl fast enough. Okay, for Priest, I actually like to melee weave. This is not going to make that big of a difference, but you want to use like a dagger or a one-handed mace and do instant cast because they don't reset your swing. Just chain all your instant casts together before you start wanding or casting or whatever you're going to do. And as for Warlock, you can actually do that exact same thing with Warlock, especially because you're going to be dotting a lot and dotting multiple mobs. So whenever you're spamming corruption on everything, you can just mouse over the corruption and just be auto-attacking one of the mobs. And since you can even have your Voidwalker tank a mob, you can hit it from behind, so no risk of parries. But another little tip, don't use Curse of Agony on the thing that you're bursting down. It needs to ramp up. Don't waste your mana or your global if you're just going to kill it first anyway. For Druid, you can do the exact same rogue thing by like running up to mobs and then jumping and stealthing, but it should be way easier because you have the movement speed from Feline Swiftness. Most people that level Shaman do like a Flame Shock and then Earth Shock on cooldown, and that's just going to nuke your natural regen. You're going to make it so you never regen because it takes 5 seconds and the cooldown on shock is 6 seconds. So if you're going to do that, what I like to do is to spam Lightning Shield with the improved Lightning Shield talent and just nuke down the mob even though I'm spending more mana. So in my opinion, you should either just not shock at all and auto attack, that way you save your mana so that way you can heal yourself, or just go all out and just spend all of your mana by killing the mob as fast as possible. You can only do that with shocks and lightning shield, because if you like hard cast a lightning bolt, then that's going to reset your swing. So you always want to be aware of what does and doesn't reset your swing. And Paladin is also really similar to that. A lot of people will use Judgment on cooldown for damage, but not want to cast any other spells because they want to save their mana to heal themselves. And you should just do one or the other, just auto attack the whole time with a seal up, or Judge on cooldown and really try and pump out the damage. And that's all the classes. That's just the stuff that I like to think about while leveling that keeps me entertained, or just a little thing to min-max here and there. Of course, there's other stuff that matters way more than this, like having good weapons and wands and stuff like that. But you guys already know that stuff. But go ahead and subscribe. With hardcore servers coming out, I'll probably actually be playing WoW, and so I'll have more ideas for more videos like this. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time.